for coming to our event today. It's my great privilege and honor to introduce to you Maria Fernanda Saavedra. Maria received her bachelor degree in psychology and master degree in clinical social work, both from UCF. She's also an integral and transformation life coach, and she's certified in holistic emotional intelligence. By the way, I need you. Yes, I need you for that. All these fabulous things that you have listed. She has been a dancer and choreographer for the past 28 years. She began dancing in 1989, venturing into several folk dance companies in Bogota, Colombia, and in the Ballet School for Sonia, which I learned from Homiro that she's a very famous. She was, yes. She was. I was at the school, yeah. Oh. Maria was born with a sensory condition that severely affected her visual ability. She's legally blind. It's called toxoplasmosis, which her mother got during her pregnancy. Since her very young age, Maria had to learn how to become and maintain her autonomy and independence. She had to learn different techniques and special strategies that enable her to act very naturally, like us who don't have a visual condition, and achieve the same results. Together with fellow dancers from the capital district in Colombia, she established the Fundación Artística Colombia Sin Límites, Fondacool,
Artistic Foundation of Colombia without limits.
Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a place dedicated to promote art, dance, and culture in Colombia. From 2008 to 2015, she was a dancer and choreographer for the Colombian Student Association of UCF, while she was promoting Colombian folk dance through teaching both Colombian and non-Colombian students how to dance. Despite her enormous challenges, Maria decided to immigrate by herself to the United States at the age of 24.
It's been a long time.
Wow. She's also CEO and founder of Evolution DEI and Ballet Folklorico Olas de Colombia Folk Dance.
No, you don't need to apologize. Huellas de Colombia for that, like footprints.
Okay. In her role as a cultural ambassador, Maria has served as the vice president of the Hispanic American Association of Business and Professional Women. Also, she has served as the president of the Hispanic Council of the Blind. She has also organized the first conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the Spanish 2020. Okay, where?
Here.
Here,
It was virtual. No, here in Orlando.
Oh, in Orlando, but in Spanish language. I see. Okay, and she's also on the Orange County Disadvantaged Transportation Metro Committee. Well, thank you very much for being here. It's lovely to have you, and I give the floor to you to tell us about yourself, please.
Thank you, Doctor. If you have a trouble with my last name, I have double trouble with yours, so I apologize. double.
No apologies.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being here, and thank you for creating this moment of awareness. I cannot be happy enough. I remember that conversation, Dr. Ada and Omar were in some of the classmates were having with me.
Micrófono para que hable.
Oh, do you want me to talk like this? Oh. ¿Así? Ah. Y allá hay un eco, ¿no importa? Perfect, thank you. I was saying, when I found the words diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially inclusion, I have heard about that word since probably my early years. I was thinking, but inclusion was only related to people who have diverse abilities, disabilities. That was only for this community. But guess what? It's not. A lot. And what made me come, how you guys are really related to inclusion. In every single aspect. Like it doesn't matter if you have skin color, different skin color, if you have a condition, if you're a man, if you have 100 years old, if you have years old level of education, anything like that. I mean, everything matters here. When I see examples like this, not only talking, this is in inclusion. This is actually exercising inclusion. And that's why I really love it. And I say, wow, they want to go to the root of the situation. I want to use my skills. I'm an engineer, and I want to use my skills better lives of others, right? To make it simple. But the root is how I do that. I want to go and find out how can I start it. That's really brave, and it's the only thing that it takes to be successful. And I'm going to tell you what. You're going to the person and you're asking the person, hey, how you do this? How can I help you? Right? And that simple sentence, how can I help you? Is inclusion. And I'm very passionate. I'm not really passionate when I see, and you guys can tell me, many places today's days, just because inclusion, empowerment, and all these words are right? So everybody wanted on the title, everybody wanted on the values of the company. Is this really something that is happening inside and outside? No, right? Probably not. When I see examples like this, I'm like, wait a minute, this really worked it. The first thing I want to say is congratulations, Ada and the team, coming up with this idea. We want to improve the lives or the possibilities of others. We're gonna do it right. We want to do it right, and that's the first and the most important. Congratulations for that. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really embracing your project. So because that's as simple as that. Now that's my part. How can I collaborate with you? How can
I found out that first. When a kid with a disability, and I'm going to call it any disability, spent the childhood without the proper tool, without the proper early intervention, that's a thing there. That affects their entire life. Okay, and why? Because we're socially inadequate. We're always misinterpreted by other people. People tend to think that we have more than one disability. I don't know if somebody here has some sort of like condition, but I always was asked just recently if I had another disability. People do not believe that I am legally blind. They tend to think that I have other kind of things. I'm going to tell you why. The reason why is because there's a term that I learned here in the US called legally blindness. Is me, I'm legally blind. And what is that? For people, like common people, there's two sides of the situation. Either you're sighted or you're blind. Nothing in the middle. No gray color, okay? And that happens to people like me who are legally blind. Legally blind means that in some ways, who knows what's the perfect vision here? Okay, so you got 20/20, yeah, that's the perfect vision. So let's say that a person who is legally blind is 20, 20, 200 and worse. Like people with like stigmatism or some sort of like condition might have 20/25, 20/20, 20/30, 20/40. When you are 20/70, you have to use some sort of like glasses or something, depending on the condition. There's many, many, many conditions. I was, 20, 400 or 20 count fingers. When you go to the doctor and they do the checkup, they ask you, how many fingers do you see here? Like probably at 1 feet distance, right? So that's how they measure the legally blindness. So people who are legally blind, they might have correction. Let's say that I have 2400, but if I use a pair of glasses, maybe I can go better, like 2200, but I cannot be functional enough to do things like driving, to do things in a normal way, to recognize, features on the face, stuff like that sort. So because many people are not familiar with the legally blindness world, people tend to think that we have more than that. Okay, that we're, another thing that we receive a lot is, oh, she's pretending that she doesn't see. Oh, because she could see this, but she couldn't see that. You see what I mean? It all depends. Like some people really need contrast. Like, for example, I know that they have something black here and another thing black that I always like that, I'm not gonna be able to recognize anything. Like if I got and I put coffee in it, I'm not gonna be able to see to do my work well. In like I might spill the coffee. So it all depends. Like conditions are really really hard to determine. So well, yeah. So I'm legally blind. I need a lot of support, especially coming from the engineering aspect. I use the CCTV. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
The CCTV?
Yeah. Closed caption TVs. Yeah. Okay. That's the screen, the computer, the screen, then a tray, then a camera, then you put the papers, and then you can see like bigger. We have magnification. I have magnification on my computer. I am not able to see your faces, so probably I will run into you in a supermarket, in any place. If you don't say hi to me, I'm not gonna be saying hi to you. That's another thing. People think, oh, she might be very arrogant. She was just funny and nice, and very into the conversation and whatever. But now I run into her in the streets, and she's another person. Yes, we are. So that's why people tend to misunderstand. I can tell you many things. Actually, in my book, it is. So then, yeah, I come back to the early childhood. When those things are not being taken care for the parents, it's a really difficult situation, especially in the social aspect. I was really, really shy. Really shy. I was very outgoing when I was behind I was always my twin sister's shadow. Like whatever she did, I did it. I guess that's why probably my parents didn't notice it. I don't know, but they never told me. But but definitely I was always behind her. Whatever she did, I did it, and it was really interesting because I had like 6 siblings. I'm the number 7. I have a twin sister. She doesn't have any condition at all. So that's why I was always, behind her, like doing whatever she does. We were kind of doing okay in school. And then they found out that I had a disability. But when parents are not taking care for the, early childhood situation and early intervention, is really hard for the kid, believe me. So my mom found out that I had something when we were in the bus. We were riding the bus. She asked me to get up first, and she got up after. It's not supposed to be doing that, right? But she did it. I mean, I don't know. And then I tripped over, and I was almost on the floor. So she found out that way. That's what she told me. Before that, I don't blame her. She was a mom with 7 kids. So I don't know. So then she took me to hospitals, clinics, and they found out that I have toxoplasmosis. Toxoplasmosis is a condition that is parasite coming from, the birds, the cats, and all this chain of eating each other, whatever. So then the hair, the poo brings the parasites, has the parasite, and the hair actually flies and goes into the mom's system. That's apparently how I got toxoplasmosis. Now I have to investigate why my twin sister doesn't have it. We're identical twins. We are supposed to be sharing everything. I don't want her to have that, but just curious about it. So yeah, she found out, my mom found out that I had that situation. My sister was taken to every single ophthalmologist, optometrist, every single people here in there to make sure that she doesn't have it. And fortunately, she doesn't have it. Actually, among all my siblings, my sister twin is the only one who doesn't wear glasses. All of them wear glasses, but she's the only one who doesn't. So yeah, then I went to a place called, they provide vision rehabilitation services. The doctor told my mom that's the only thing that you can do for the child. It was really strange. They only received people like 18 and older. I was really young, so but I don't know how we did it, but we went to the place and I started receiving service. By then, it was a total different things. Like here, there are a lot of technology. In Colombia, we used to have, the basic thing. I learned how to use the abacus. I don't know if somebody here knows, but I do. The abacus, the system, is Japanese, right?
The calculator.
Yeah,
Like a calculator.
but the abacus, the original one. So we used to do, math on those things. I knew Braille, and I was learning how to type in those gigantic machines that you ended up without fingers because you were like tin, 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 tin. I learned a lot of stuff. I learned how to navigate safely and independently in the city. When I came to United States, guess what? I came on my own. So because I got really, really good, training over there, even though that's undeveloped, country, we still have a lot of ways to learn stuff. So I learned how to use transportation. I knew the city. Among all my siblings, I was the only one who could go from one place to another, like not easily, but at least I was brave enough to do that. They took a lot of time to go out of the house and do the same thing that I did. I think the condition pushed me hard to start doing all these things. Second chapter of my book is more about my infancy, my childhood. It was really painful. It was really difficult. We had the situation by the domestic violence. And I talk about that. I talk about the real darkness in my life wasn't actually my lack of sight. It was my life as a child, having situations in my house that still today is kind of happening. I don't know to what extent in my parents' house, but it's still happening. So domestic violence hit our family really badly, and up to the point that I'm not even really able to work in that field because I'm not. It's just really hard. I don't understand. I still don't understand how my mom can still be living with this guy and nothing happens. So, anyways, it's kind of my second chapter, and it was more um like a testimony of how such a thing do not discriminate or doesn't discriminate anybody's life. Like it affects everybody, mom, the children, regardless of the disability, regardless of whatever. Domestic violence is really hard and is really difficult to defeat. So that was one of the things that that makes me left my house in really, really my early years. I was teenager still when I left my house. I was 15 years old when I left my house, and I had to start like, running the streets and finding friends places to stay with my disability. I just found out that I have this. I don't know. It was very difficult. It was a really, really bad time in my life, and that was something huge that had happened through my entire childhood and teenage years that saved me, and that is called dance, because I love to dance and I love to teach how to dance. You tell me you don't know how to dance and I will teach you. Believe me. I did it here in at UCF for like 6 years. And that was dance. I remember when I was actually, creating the last pieces of my book, I was talking to my one of my brother-in-laws. He was helping me with the graphics and all these things. And he asked me, because he was editing my book and he found out my story and he found out about me, right? And he asked me, "Hey, Maria, um, why you never committed suicide? Why you never did wrong things? You haven't, right?" And I'm like, "No." And he said, "Why?" "I'm just wondering because this is tough." And I say, "Because I was busy dancing." So that's why I'm honoring this book to my dance. That's something that I really appreciate so much, because that's my passion. And I really thank God because I got that. And I always have had that passion for dancing. So that's a really huge part of my life. Then after, here and there, I have the opportunity to work with people with disabilities. Many. Funny thing, barely work with blind people. I work with people in wheelchair, Down syndrome, people with all kinds of conditions, but with, blindness just once, and I didn't like it. So I don't know, maybe I mirror myself on the behavior of these people, and I'm like, whatever. Then I found out, yes, I behave, but then I found out we have a way why we just act or say or do these kind of things, right? It's not wrong. It's simply how we are. And I didn't accept it by then. So that's why I was so really hard on the community. Um, so I was working mainly teaching dances, mainly, teaching, doing sensitivity trainings, more about paraplegic and quadriplegic. I had the opportunity, the biggest opportunity in my life, to create the first group of dance, like the dance troupe, component by people in wheelchair and people without any disabilities. You want me to move?
It's okay.
Okay, so, and we were one of the 10 best companies in Bogota, Colombia. Okay, so we used to dance everywhere, and that was really the best time in my life, because I got the opportunity to learn about other conditions. When you see other people that relates to you, that is like you, that share a lot of commonalities, common ground, whatever it is, you kind of start embracing it, and you realize, oh, that's not wrong. Being that is not wrong. No, it's not wrong. So then, yeah. So yeah, I was part of many things in Colombia. I was dancing a lot, a lot, a lot. I prefer to dance than eat. I can tell you that. Actually, I got a friend of mine gave me a little dog. ¿Cómo se dice salchicha?
Like a
Yeah, that dog.
Peru salchicha.
I still feel bad because I was supposed to be taking care of the dog, but I was always busy dancing. So one day the dog disappeared. My sister gave it away, but today I still ask her, like, what you did with Cora? And she's like, oh no, she jumped from the roof. And I'm like, yeah, right. A salchicha, like, so just stop. I know she's not gonna be able to do that, whatever. So yeah, then I got many situations in Colombia. Then I came to the United States. my first impression was tremendously overwhelming because I came on my own. I was in Orlando airport, too many lights, too many colors, too much information, like visual information, sensory information it was really overwhelming. And I wasn't good in English. Only hello, good morning, and that's it. That was all my English. And then it was really hard. It was my first encounter with this world. I came to US. I started working like any other people, pretending again because here's one thing. In Colombia, it's okay if you go and say that you're blind or you cannot see well. People might react, whatever, but it's okay. Here, even, everything is like confidential, right? Like, for example, when I was here at UCF, everything was confidential. The only person who knows that I got a disability was the professor, which is okay. I was fine with that. But, that back and forth thing make you like, okay, is that okay to say it or is not okay? So tell me. And then I found out a lot of experiences here as well, especially when finding a job, when looking for jobs. Because if I say that I am this that I have the disability, I didn't get the job. If I didn't say it, I didn't get it. Because I mean, like they found out and I got fired. I got fired for like probably 3 places because I didn't say it. And they found out. They found out because logically, I cannot pretend. I can pretend like just because I'm sitting there and probably people cannot notice that I have a disability, but when I am doing something, people can tell that I am legally blind. So it was really this thing like, should I say, should I not, whatever. And I was a little bit tired. I was here alone. My husband spent almost 3 years in Colombia with, before coming here. That was the process, and we had to accept it. So we were separated for almost 3 years. And when he came, obviously everything was easier for me, a little bit easier, a lot of easier. I'm not gonna be saying that. No, I really thank that guy, the support and the love, especially. So I told him, I'm tired. I don't want to do more of this. I was doing vacuuming, I was working in factories. It's not that those jobs are not for people, they are. But I think I have a different purpose in life, right? So I wanted to do something different. And I needed to start by learning the language. I'm still in that process. Okay. So I came and I started like, learning English in Florida Tech. Um, got tired. I need to learn faster. That's a common thing about, everybody coming to the United States. We want to talk right now. We don't even think that learning a language takes time, dedication, and actually, even our own language, we don't really do it quite well, because we spend the whole life learning the language. So, but everybody common thing is, oh, I want to learn now. Like I want a conversation. Now it's not that easy, okay? But it can be happening someday. So yeah, so I started learning English. Then I got tired. I need to speak faster. Then I went to a private university. I wanted to pursue psychology, but I spent 1 year learning more Spanish that I didn't need, and a little bit of English and nothing else. So that system might work for somebody else, but not for me, especially because somebody who has a disability and can relate with me, we need more time. We need extra time. That's not a lie. We really need to have, if you guys have 1 hour for one exam, we need 2.5. All depends in the condition, right? We have to do 3 times whatever you guys do once. It's as simple as that. So I came and then my counselor, I was affiliated to the Division of Blind Services, great services over there. They have helped me a lot. And I was connected to a friend of mine. I'm very grateful with her because it was really a huge thing. And the Division of Blind Services, assigned me with a counselor, and the counselor started working on my case. Um, First, I got a counselor for job purposes. Then I say, no, I wanna go to school. So then I switched to another counselor. Anyways, he took me out of that university. He said, this is not for you. You have to go to Valencia. I went to Valencia, no English, no anything. It was really hard, 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 hard. But I could have my 2 years of associate's degree because of a concept again. Teachers, instructors, mentors, counselors, thank you so much for all what you do, honestly. Because if that wasn't for you, well, especially those who have their heart on it, those, oh my goodness, I have met a lot of these people. I'm grateful for that. So I met Mr. Encielo. He might be at Valencia Osceola now. He just took me from day one to day 200, whatever it is, 2 years, boom, complete my AA. A lot of sacrifices, a lot of struggle because of the language and because of the sight. Because yes, somebody one day said something that offended me and it still is offending me. He said, if somebody doesn't speak the language, it's equally like if that person is disabled. It's not true. It's not true. Because he made me feel that I have double disability again. So people are sometimes, and most of the time, they're wrong with whatever they say, without knowledge, without consciousness. So that was that. So yeah, then I came to UCF, hard. So let me tell you something. Valencia is a nice journey. It's not that like the UCF is not. It is a nice journey too, but it's a different journey. Valencia, I was all the time in the resource center, tutoring here, tutoring there. I got my thing. Here is harder. In my 2 years that I was here with my, doing my bachelor's degree, I'm gonna tell you, the first 2 months, I was just walking around the campus, around the same area, trying to find where because I was supposed to be having orientation and mobility training, never had it, so I have to go on my own. Meaning, I have to start learning how to navigate the campus on my own. So I was one day, taking psychology, one of the classes, the hardest classes ever, history and system psychology. Never gonna forget that. And that was so hard. It's all about philosophy. Philosophy in Spanish is hard, so in English is harder. So really harder. So I was taking that class, and I overheard somebody whispering behind me, like, "Oh, we should do a support group." Oh, da da da. I'm like, oh, that's nice. But I was so shy, I didn't even want to talk to them. But the next day and the next day, I'm like, I really need to. So I talk to somebody and say, "Hey, where are you guys meeting?" "Oh, we are in the Barnes and Noble." Now I know where is it, unless they change it. But now I know where is it. But it took me days to know how to get there. I went there, and the day that I was there, I'm not lying. They say, "Well, guys, okay, let's do this, and get ready because we have to switch. They're not gonna be allowing us to be here anymore, so we have to go to classroom 1." Interesting. So that was very interesting. Those are things that we have to face probably in a daily basis. And the thing about this magic place is that you come 1 week and the next week is another building up. So it's a lot of construction. So it's hard for people who have disabilities, believe me. Especially during nights, I was taking classes during the night. And yeah, I graduated from my BS, then I went straight to my master's. All of these years, thanks to the engineers, I got support. Thanks to DBS, I got support. I got machines, CCTVs. They converted my books into audio. They do a lot of stuff just to help me be successful. And they did, because that's really a huge help. When I was in Colombia, I never had that. I never had that. So I don't like to read. I had to read, but I don't like. And the reason was because I never created the habit. Nobody was converted to anything, so I couldn't have those resources. First, because the books were expensive, and my parents couldn't afford many books for many kids, so we barely had books. And then because you have to create it. It's just like that. Now I'm trying, but it's hard. So yes, thanks to all of these resources, I could, I did my master's, and it was really nice. And then I went to work, and it's been my life, all these days. It's all about inclusion and about how to include myself as well, because that's another thing. If the engineer team say, we need to do this experiment or we want to work towards this project, but they don't have somebody who can say, hey, let me help you with my knowledge, then there's, half of the work is not done. So we're talking about inclusion is we have to also include ourselves. It's not just include me. No, we have to go and jump and help. Okay, how can I educate you? How can I do for you to help me to do both better? Because that's a win-win, no? I guess you guys feel that way. When you kind of come up with a project and you have the ideas of so many people, it's a win-win. Yes. So basically, yeah, my book is telling you guys about all my struggles and my success. One of the biggest thing is something that I always was told by friends that loved me so much, and they'd say, Maria, you're weird. Actually, I learned the word awkward here at UCF. The girl that I love so much, she spent 8 years dancing with me. And one day she, Maria, you're awkward. And I didn't even know why, because of my language, because of the cultural differences, or because of my size. Everything. Everything. Okay? So whatever. So I take it as a compliment. But also make me understand that, yeah, we're so different, but we're so alike. And we have to be so careful here, especially because culturally we're so diverse that we need to understand other people's views. We have to become smart, smarter and more intelligent in the ways that we treat others. Whatever is good for you is not good for me. So you don't come and tell me, hey, besides your visual condition, do you have anything else? He's asking me for money or what? I don't know. You see? So that's the thing. So I speak about that because, for example, my friends used to tell me, I have a friend, he was very honest with me, and he said, I don't know, what happens is that every time that you are inside of some place, you look like if you're drunk. You're like maybe using something. Tell me the truth. No, I don't do that, whatever. And I'm going to tell you something. When I was doing the psychology, I'm just going back and forth. When I was doing psychology, I have this exercise that I have to, talk about some sort of phobia. And I'm like, phobia, well, I have spiders. I don't like snakes. I don't like spiders. But I found out apparently that I have social phobia. And I'm like, yeah, no, I have social phobia. So, okay, let's work towards that. First of all, that project was supposed to be done by a group. I couldn't. I spoke to the professor and say, I'm not going to be able to do that. Maybe I'm too afraid to talk to people. Yeah, I have phobia, social phobia. So I already diagnosed myself. Oh, I'm going to have a psychology title so I can diagnose myself. So, okay, I say that, okay? So I started exposing myself because I thought that I have a social phobia. I don't have a social phobia, otherwise I wouldn't be here. But, last Saturday I was at the Pride Parade. I don't have a phobia. I was there like jumping and dancing, so no phobia. So my first exercise was actually here at UCF. I used to go to the arena when they have these job thingy, fairs.
Oh, correct, yeah.
Oh my God, how hard it was for me. It doesn't matter. I spent 1 hour and a half coming, 20 minutes from the bus stop to the arena, okay? Because I'm not really like fast walk, whatever, because I have to be careful, okay? And then another 20 minutes and another hour and a half. And I never get into the door. I just went to the door just by thinking I have to go and approach to all these people. I'm not gonna be able to do that. No, I came, a few times. Then I started, I have to defeat this. I have to do it. Guess what? With my second choice, or my next choice, was to go to art galleries. Nothing else. Something that I cannot see. So I went to art gallery and I started walking around twice, and then left. And right now I'm the most popular person in the Hispanic community. You guys tell me. So no, definitely I don't have a social phobia. I just was not prepared to, face social environments. And I found out that that was since my early childhood. When, I have a lot of siblings. I was surrounded by, many people. But I was the kid that nobody wanted to play with. I was the kid that even before finding out that I had a disability, like a condition, like visual condition, they assume, or they thought that I had another condition. Why? Because I used to trip over stuff. You see what I mean? So, oh, maybe it's some sort of motor skills or whatever, lack of something. Never thought that was my eyes. Because by the way, I have pretty eyes. You tell me. So yeah, that's the thing. So socially, I was not prepared, but that was since my early years. So I have to start working on those aspects of my life. So my book, despite of the fact that tells you guys a little bit of sad aspects of my life, my intention was more to educate parents. Be careful with your kids. Pay attention to all your kids. Love all your kids. Embrace all your kids and teach them to self-love, to accept, to recognize, to embrace who they are, their strengths, weaknesses, virtues, whatever it is. Teach them how to do that. Teach them that that's the best way of being a human being, okay? So that's the thing that I do in my books, teaching people how to do this. This is not only for people who have visual conditions. I know people who are on the spectrum can relate to me a lot because they are always misunderstood. People who have chronic migraine, people who have anxiety, people who have any kind of phobia, any individual, even you here can relate to probably something that I am saying. We have to start loving ourselves since early years, and parents have a really huge task on that. But I don't know why, but sometimes even parents have biases, right? They love one kid more than the other, even though they say, no, I love my kids equally. Everybody says, no, it's not. And that's okay. But still, if you have a kid with a condition, please love it. Don't shelter him. Love it. Empower that person because it's going to be a huge person in the future, and you will see. It's going to be, equally like your other kids. So thanks God, although I had a really difficult situation in my house because of domestic violence, I have the most loving siblings. And I say this with all my heart. My brother, my sisters, oh my goodness. They love me so much. I love them so much. And they support me all the time. I say I'm gonna jump and they are there clapping. You see? So that was a really great thing. And that's a great gift because we could be hating each other and we are not. We have our difference and we, argue like every family members, but other than that, we love so much each other. Okay? So yeah. And then last part of my book, I talk about different aspects of the life that I have lived also, not as a people or as a person with a condition. That's something that I also teach my clients or my friends or people around me. Do not let a condition determine who you are. You are who you are with everything that you have, that you're wearing. Make those intersectionalities to be a positive, because that's positive traits in your life. People tend to put that as a negative. The society, the government, the employment, the companies. If you have more than everybody has an intersectionality here, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'm gonna do a little exercise. Just raise your hand who is a woman here. I don't see your hands, but I believe you're raising your hands. Raise your hands if you are immigrant. That's two intersectionality. Raise your hands if you are Black. Raise your hand if you have a condition, whatever it is. Laziness is a condition.
Physical condition, you mean?
Whatever condition.
Physical, emotional.
Yes. Guess what? When you meet a person who has more than 3 to 4, is you will hear about this person. Oh my God, she's so negative or he's so negative. You know, life has treated them so badly. Yeah, because we live in a society where we do not accept those things as something positive, as the diverse that is in yourself. You have a lot of stuff to give with just those factors. You have to add those factors up. But the society tends to diminish the fact that you have more than one of those traits, that more than one of those, I can call them qualities. You know, many people see it like in a negative way, but it's not. So you have to really be aware of those to be able to feel empowered, to be stronger, to feel, to feel that you really belong. You don't need to feel that other people need to, make you belong. No, you belong already. If somebody's not accepting you, that's their situation. You see? Who here hasn't been judged because of their accent? Has, sorry.
Oh, has.
Yes, I just has. So we all can relate. So we can create a club here, right? And and that was back in July. I was in a summer camp, and one of the girls was laughing about my accent. So what? I'm not gonna be changed because of you. I love my accent. So when you start loving all those aspects of your life, you're empowered. So no, do not allow people or nobody to determine who you are. You are the only one who determines who you are. Who I am a person who I belong to this community, this community, this community, this community. I belong to everywhere. And then you tell me that I don't fit? Of course I do fit. I belong. I belong to more than one community. Actually, I belong more than, you or you or you. I belong to the blind community, to the woman community, to the shortest community, to, I belong to many communities. So do not allow people to define who you are. You cannot do that to yourself. So I also talk about, self-recognition. In one of the chapters of my book, I talk about the guilt. Guilt was something that was with me for a long time. That's why I started with the emotional intelligence thing, because I felt guilty. People throughout my life made me feel guilty because of my condition, and I believe it. That's the worst thing. The worst thing is not how they make you feel, is that you believe in that. And I did believe for many, many years that was my fault. Why? Because in my early years, everybody wanted to fix me. I know that came from the space of love, but still, nobody was accepting me. Everybody wants to, take her to the Virgin Mary so she can cure her, whatever, do this and do that and then drink this or whatever. So everybody wanted to fix me. And that was 2 years ago. One person that I met, she told me, Maria, for me, you can see well. That's lack of acceptance. You cannot tell somebody, oh, you're African American, but for me, you're white. You see what I mean? No, you cannot tell a person something like that. And that comes like, oops, you have to accept yourself, embrace yourself, define who you are, and you will see how people around you might change. People in my community, there were few people who knew that I was legally blind. Like Diane, for example, she met me back in 2013 and she knew. But many people found out probably 2-3 years ago because of, I don't even remember my book, not even my book, but people found out. What happens when people know you for your blindness? They judge you. She's not gonna be able to do this or to do that. They attribute you qualities bad qualities that you don't even have. When people know who you are for who you are without pointing out this or that, people accept easier. And I'm telling you, I have met many people in my life, those who knows right away that I have a disability, those who doesn't. And let me tell you, I can create the most beautiful social experiment here with really amazing results. Believe me, like, it's a really nice study to do, because people create these concepts of, oh, this person has a disability, it brings the other side of the situation. If you meet somebody before thinking, oh, that person is weird, maybe let me sit, maybe a little bit further. Let me do this or that. Don't judge. Just think with your empathy. If you have that space of empathy, just think about that. Maybe it's a bad day for that person. Maybe that person has some sort of situation. We don't know. Internally, externally, we don't know. Do not do that. Don't treat others with low respect or disregard. That would be the word. Don't treat others with more than that. Treat everybody equal. Even the CEO or the president or whatever, equal. Many people have lots of qualities, but not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. Nobody needs to be the president of something. Nobody needs to to be scientific to be respected. Because what we can do with everybody being a scientific, how boring would be this world. Treat people with that respect. And that's something that I said in my book because I have faced it a lot. Women, that's an excellent topic, right? Compassion, solidarity, sorority. I also talk about that. How we need to really be stronger and use the word empower to empower others, especially all women. You go to work and the person who makes your life miserable, who is? Probably a woman. I'm sorry. That has happened to me. So I also ask my females, my women, please use that capacity, because if you are able to give birth, you're able to do wonders. And you do wonders by being kind, by being, being loving with other women. No matter what, don't treat women like, women, we have to be, friends, and friends from the heart. So, and I was talking to Diane, and I say, I have so many really loving friends from Colombia. I really love them. Like, oh my God, I feel happy about it. So, because we have to start building up those relationships with people who are power, like they have really power. Who has power? It's not the CEO, it's not the entrepreneur, it's not the guy who, goes on the news every day, or, it's the people who are more honest, who are most transparent, like authentic, have empathy, have the really, really weight of loving others with just because you are nice. That's it. Not else, no title. So that's the only way that we can reach this, I don't want to say equity. Because equality and equity, there's two things, different things, okay? So, but I'm not teaching today about that. So yeah, I also talk about self-recognition. I used to do things and be on the background. Nobody can see me. I was dancing, I danced and I left. I didn't even give my people a gift of having a picture with me. I didn't even think that was nice until I just realized. Self-recognition is powerful. If you don't recognize yourself, nobody's gonna do it. You're gonna be waiting, because everybody in this world needs that recognition. Everybody has this hunger for recognition. But recognition starts by you and only you. Recognize yourself for those, it's really hard to recognize yourself for those little successes that you have in a daily basis. That it's easier to punish yourself for those things like, oh, you wake up in the morning and you step on something or whatever, you punish yourself. No, you know? So recognition, self-recognition. I did this, I deserve it. Just believe that you deserve it because you have worked hard and not because you're blind or you're, you have autistic, nothing. Just because you did well, that's it. So self-recognition is something that we all should exercise. And when you do that, everything is powerful. It's not to be arrogant. It's just to recognize all the things that you have done and you will be, doing and work hard for. When you complete a business, when you close a business, you're happy because that's, recognizing the effort and all the hard work. That's not bad. That's okay. That's really good. So I speak about all of those aspects in my book and how people can relate to me, like can understand a better world is gonna be made of people who understand easier others, at least to ask, how you doing? Do you need something? But no, the first thing that we do is judge. Oh, that's weird. I don't know why she's behaving like that, whatever. No, we have to create those environments where everybody feel included. Where we feel included, but we have to include ourselves. That's it. It's as simple as that. So, and again, I was super happy when I got the call from Omer asking me to come and talk. And I say, absolutely, I will be there. Because guess what? What you guys are doing cannot be done in just one small camera and with your class. No, you have to do it and take it outside. And you will find out, and I told Omer, you will find out more people like Maria that you can imagine. Many, many people like me. And who I am, a normal person. I have a condition, I have struggles, I have because of that, yes. But I have built up my life in such a way that I'm just here. And you will find, maybe somebody who has, are under the umbrella of autism or the spectrum of autism, and is amazing. And not because he has autism, it's because he's a really amazing human being. That's it. All of that comes when you have values and you know your values and you believe in whatever you believe and you're strong, then everything comes. You don't need to be from Mars just for people to say, oh my God, I know Mara is brilliant and I admire him so much. I don't even know he has if he has this or whatever. No, for me, this person, he's super smart and I really admire him because of that. I admire people next to you because of who they are. That's it. All day, just picture myself with with different badges. Badge. Oh, one because I'm white, one because I am blind, one because I am from Colombia, one because I'm from Bogota, one because I have so many minorities. Oh, and by the way, my mom's last name is Jopasa, so I am also indigenous. So another, no, just that. I just want to share with you first that the happiness and that really this work that you are doing is amazing. And then second, go out and find a lot of people. You will be surprised that you're not gonna have a room to put all these people. Actually, you yourself can be, standing here and talking about something powerful. Regardless of if you have or not any condition, you have something powerful to give and to say and to impact. So go out and impact people because that's what we all do. When we do it with the heart, with the honesty, with the empathy, we are doing well. So I don't know if you might have any questions for me. And I really, really appreciate the invitation to be here, to be heard. Another day I will dance for you, I promise. Actually, no. Okay, Let's pretend that I didn't finish. I'm gonna spend another 3 minutes. Okay, I have because I am really into my dance thing. I back in 2015, I heard about this big event in Orlando, and I was like, how can I do that? I jumped it. I was one of the first people coming to that event as a minority, Hispanic. That's Immerse. I don't know if you guys have heard about that. Creative City Project. Well, I'm a co-producer of Immerse for 6 years now. So this Saturday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you guys can go to downtown Orlando and enjoy all what's gonna happen there. My show goes on, Saturday, 8:30 p.m. in the Dr. Phillips stage. We're gonna be there. So just an invitation, not just to go and see me, but to enjoy all the work, the hard work from the local artists here in Orlando. So that's something that I really wanna. If you have time, go with the boyfriend, girlfriend, family, whoever alone. And if you are going to see me, please find me behind the stage, and I will be, happy to say hi to you. Okay, so that's an invitation for you guys. Thank you. If you have any questions, then I'm gonna take them.
I have one question. Sure. And I was going to ask you this. What you
Oh. I used to say, I spent 3 years, almost 3 years along here, right? I always do the same thing. I just put, I cook Colombian food mainly. Put the lentils, the rice, salt, oil, and that's it. Nothing happened in that kitchen until today's day. When my husband came, somebody's in the kitchen because that smell makes sounds, so somebody's in there. But when I'm there, nothing happens. So he used to, he purchased condiments so he can decorate whatever, he can fix whatever I prepare. So I do the cooking, he fixes it. We kind of take turns. Yeah. And when I was doing visual rehabilitation, taking visual rehabilitation services in Colombia, I learned how to cook, how to, use more than cook, how to use, the appliances in a safe way. So I'm not for myself. Now the cooking thing, I not even watching MasterChef. Because I watch more MasterChef. So it's good. Yeah.
Thank you, Maria Fernanda.
Thanks for the question. You're somebody else. You engineers, I'm happy for you.
So, what's like the most difficult challenge that you have overcome in that?
Or what?
Like that you have overcome, like the most difficult challenge because of your condition, or in life in general?
Into my life?
Yeah.
Here?
Like the most difficult challenge that you have.
I think it has been and it will be discrimination. I mean, as an individual, things can be improved or can be fixed in some way. If I get lost, I have to find my way. For example, if I got lost, because I don't always use most of the time I use the city bus. If I get lost, I know that I have to go to downtown and I will find myself. It's fixed. But discrimination is the hardest part. And that I was more because when I came thinking that was a perfect world. Oh, I'm going to US. Nobody discriminates there. I lied to myself because I didn't know that. So that has been my hardest part. And I say it's gonna be because unfortunately we as human beings we are very complex and we need change. But we are resistant to that change. That's the problem. Thanks.
So we can deeper the question.
Oh, no, tell me I forgot, sorry.
Yeah. So if anyone has a question, please you can come to the seat.
Oh, okay. So,
Don't be shy. Yes, please. It will be if you could. Yes, please. So we can have like a better audio.
Question to you. So the first question was that I wanted to ask you for the longest time. Who does the cooking in your house?
We both do it, my husband and I, but he cooks well. I just cook to survive.
Perfect, perfect. And the second question was something that it is like we have in common.
Mhm.
Working for the community is our passion, and we have been involved with the community for many years. That's why we met long time ago. So we love the community, and also we know that there is people with their heart where it's supposed to be working for the community, but there is another people that is not. We have is in another thing. It has another agenda, and sometimes that come back to you in a way that hurts you, and sometimes you feel like stabbing the back from so many other people. Like that's not the majority, but some of them. How can you manage that situation? And how can you uh, become out of the situation and better that situation? How can you put that aside or diminish that for you to keep moving on and for you to move forward?
Um, Before, there were a lot of things that really affected me until I realized that is not helpful. So I think that first attitude is just having, if you're aware that you're an amazing person, that you're doing well, that you're doing the things that you're like that you do is with your heart, then you don't need to worry about these people. These people do exist for a reason, and we're gonna be finding them everywhere in the job, and in the community, in whatever it is. You always have to think about what you're doing, know what they're doing. It's kind of like be the bigger person always, and do not allow people to, to interrupt, to disrupt your harmony and what you're doing. It's not giving them the power to to make you feel bad. You're still a human being, but it's not important. What matters here is the people who are really doing well and is aligned with your purpose.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, thank you for the question.
You don't have no money.
You look like a punishment. Right? Okay, Omar. I don't know if somebody has another question. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great.
So when did you realize your love for dance?
Oh, I was little, more little than now. I was I don't even know what age, but my uncles used to play music every Saturday and Sunday. That was the best days of my life. And I remember my aunties when I was really little. I think I was moving and dancing on my own, and they always wanted to, play the music so she can dance. So I think that was very early in my years. And then I always in the school, everything that has to do with dance, I was the first. And if that wasn't nothing, I was donated still myself. So I want to do it. So I always wanted to dance. I know it sounds really in my heart. I couldn't do go to a really professional school per se because of the money of the situation, financial situation. But I still danced and went to a lot of schools. Thank you. That's another thing. So, and I put it in one of the sentences in my book is if you have a passion for something, just do it. You don't need to be a star, to do it. If you like to dance and you don't have the time or you only have 1 hour, a week, go and dance. If you want to, paint or sing or just go and what, do it. Never hesitate to gift yourself with those things. That's your talent. Never forget that. If you have a talent, exercise it. 30 minutes a day, a week, or whatever, exercise it because that's what keeps us alive and happy and harmony.
Okay, regarding our effort to make things better. I can think of doing things from technological perspective, which is much harder. And also in terms of personal things, maybe not necessarily technology, this awareness that we have been talking about, and be truly inclusive. Because you have been students at UCF. What comes to your mind as suggestion? What we can do to make our community more inclusive? There are things that comes to my mind that I want to hear from you, because you had the experience of being a student. So, for example, me as a professor, what can I do to help my students, given any condition that she or he may have, to feel inclusive? And as the whole community, how can we do that to make sure that people with any condition feel inclusive?
Well, the first thing you already have, the interest, like being here and asking these questions, and just that thing is a good start. And I don't know how things have been developing since I was here. My last time was back in 2015, and this is more about accessibility. I know that you try to do the hardest possible to include and to make things easier for students. But I think I couldn't find much equipment for different condition. I know it's really hard and it's probably a difficult task, but not impossible. Is to think in people like they're unique, right? And it's not that we're gonna have too many computers in a unique way. Probably different softwares and stuff like that. But educate yourself more. Like for example, if you're talking about visual conditions, so what is gonna be work for one portion of the community with visual conditions might not be working for others. So maybe going more in depth of having probably people from different conditions, like okay, let's talk about with somebody who has this level of glaucoma or toxoplasmosis or macular degeneration or these juvenile conditions that they have, like juvenile glaucoma is not the same when you're a teenager than when you're an older person. So maybe go more into that in the different kind of conditions, and try to come up with something that there's not going to be one equipment that is going to be fitting or meeting the requirements of just one person, or sorry, that just an entire community. You might need to go more, and I know you're doing a hard work, and that would be one way in terms of technology, how to make this inclusive. And I know this is hard because, like for example, we're not talking about those chairs over there, that those chairs are all the same and everybody can use it regardless of the condition, right? It's not the same. I know this is a really difficult task, but probably just by learning about different, like what can I do? Okay, just simply contrast for me. Maybe somebody. I was surprised to hear that people can see actually blue and yellow. Like fonts in blue and yellow. Background or vice versa. I cannot see that.
Oh, you cannot blue and yellow. You
No, no, I really need a lot of contrast. And I know those equipment comes with different, different ways. So maybe, study like if you're gonna come up with like a new equipment or something, just make sure that probably is something more like, you know, diverse. Say like inclusive. Yeah, I know it's hard. And probably one day we all can be happy with accommodation. I know you guys are doing a great, tremendous job just by being here.
Second question is very different one from my first question. Your husband seems to be a very important person in your life. How did you guys get to know each other?
Dancing.
Oh God!
70% of the people that I know, I have met them because of the dance.
Ah,
Just
okay.
I think including a man, because it's related to dance, and that and he was in the section. And the funny thing is, he's a good dancer, salsa dancer, very good. I'm gonna be throwing a show Saturday. He's not gonna be part of that because he danced with me only in nightclubs. So you cannot imagine how frustrating it is to have a husband who dances really good, but he doesn't throw shows like that. So I have to go and find, different people.
We have the Latin blood.
Wow! Wow!
Yes.
Wonderful.
So that was through dancing. Thanks for asking.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Maria.
Good question.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. It's kind of like a question, but then also just like wanting to get more information about it. I'm majoring in social work right now, and I'm in the bachelor's program. And I am interested in learning more about being a life coach. And taking you, my mom's a social worker, and my dad's a psychiatrist. So it's just something that I like have always, been drawn to, and just kind of seeing empowerment and the sorority, and I find a lot of empowerment within my friends and everyone in there. So I just wanted to know if I could contact information.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let me bring you a card. And yeah, let me tell you something. I have a background in psychology. I have a master's degree in social work, and I'm a life coach. Those three things are different. So that's good that you are thinking about that. Just think that you cannot mix them up. Okay, psychology is different. Psychology is more like you know, right? And probably social work to help people. If you go into the clinical aspect, it's like psychology. You can help people with the past and to deal with situations. But life coach is different. Life coach is just to help people to pursue their purpose in life, their goals. You cannot have somebody who wants to commit suicide doing life coach, for example. So when you're in the field of psychology, and that was funny because I was like probably 2 months ago in a workshop. I don't know. That was a presentation of this guy, and he's a coach of something, whatever. And I was there, and I'm like, because I have this knowledge, I couldn't be like trick so easy, right? So just be careful with that. I mean, I really feel that that's a good thing. If you like to care for people, you can do the three things separately, but never mix them. Unless you're gonna say, as a social worker, you have your life, your people from the life coach aspect, and you're gonna be giving him some resources, and boom. But yeah, that's something that I just found out, and I'm like, I have seen a lot of stuff in the community, like people doing both. No, you cannot do both. I mean, it's not that people who have conditions or situations mentally cannot dream and have a purpose. Yes, they can. Absolutely, everybody can. But they need to be better in order to know what they want. And most of the time, if they're not better, they don't know what they want. They don't even know how to get better. But that's a really great question. So just, yeah, please give me a call, and I can whatever in the social work or life coach area, please. I will be super happy to help you. Can I give you my Huellas de Colombia?
Thank you.
This is my dance card. see if I have another one. This is not money. It's big, but it's not money. It's full of.
So you know, you said you can't do both, but if you look at it in a way where you help someone out first, and then once they're ready to get some life coaching, and
Like if you have somebody, let's say I come to your practice to do like your life coach practice, right? And I come and I have so many really stuff like let's say that I am very depressed. As a life coach that is responsible, you have to refer that person to somebody else.
Yeah.
You can let them know, go this place, do this, try to feel better, and when you're totally better, when you can come back and you are helping a lot. You cannot imagine. But I have seen people doing both. So the press, when you think about your purpose, many people who knows here what the purpose in life is. Many people say, yeah, I know, but when we do the exercise, they don't even know what the purpose. People don't even know what their own values are, right? So when you're in a tremendous situation, like you're dealing with, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, and stuff like that, you're not able to, to think about the purpose. I couldn't find my other. I might have, given away, but with that one, you can just give me a text, and absolutely anything, please. I love you're doing social work.
so I love it. So
Yes.
much.
Yes,
Yeah.
go for it. Also super nice. I love that career a lot. Very rewarding. The three of them, very rewarding. Oh, engineering too, and all kinds of things.
Okay, guys. So we have time for one more question, and then we're going to wrap up for today.
No, thank you. Not everybody.
Okay, I got my last question. Let me take my cane up there. Well, this was a good one you said earlier. I love it because Puerto Rican, American, obviously, travel the world, and people always used to make fun of me with my accent. But now I don't have an accent when I speak English. It's only when I speak Spanish. But I got this quote here. I want to read it to you guys. It says, "Never make fun of someone who speaks broken English. It means they know another language and they actually might be smarter than you." So always, be open-minded to get to know somebody different cultures. I admire that, especially because my wife is from Colombia too. She came here 25 years ago, obviously looking for me. But I love all your aspects of what you're doing, aspirations. So I wanted to know, is there another part of you that you want to do a different type of business or something to help the community more than what you're doing right now?
Yeah, in the sense of equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, yes, absolutely. I think we have to create change, and that change is being created by educating people, right? So I'm gonna be, paying more attention on the aspect of education, coaching, and coaching companies, consulting. Yeah, so that's what I created, Evolution. Yeah. And I'm also gonna have my ballet Huellas de Colombia as part of that too, because I use my ballet and as a place where everybody can be there and feel included. So I have people even from Vietnam dancing cumbia from Colombia.
Nice.
So I really embrace those, but I want people to really, when they speak about DEI, please make it happen. Don't put it in a piece of paper. Make it happen, because you can see these things, look really good on the words, but inside there's nothing. So we have to create change.
So by you helping people create change, it's always going to be all family oriented with their kids, their spouses, them, and then probably companies make a bigger impact. That's awesome. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Maria, for coming and sharing with us your experience. It's very valuable, and I think I don't know yet dancing, like it was like an amazing dance. Okay.
Don't forget, you're an amazing violinist. We saw them this week. They played the violin at an event. Phenomenal.
love music, so that's art is something that we have in common. That's like a way to join people together, connection of art, and I am sure that this is going to change for better the future of our community, our country, in the sense of going to a more inclusive, accessible, and quality in our country, university, country, and community. Thank you, Maria. Por formalismo, pero I
Would you
always
mind
feel my
taking